got this shit, man. You're talking too much. Yo,
Hey, bro.
Nigga
tell
Ace
a
supposed to be
story.
having all
Tell
this
a
down pat,
story. I just want to put out there, man, on this first story or some of the things we're gonna talk about. Some of y'all motherfuckers be real busy, my nigga. I could probably tweet Donald Trump online right now and receive some action before y'all come online, because y'all niggas, you know. But I'm glad that Cardani de la Cruz, Emily Santiago, and Aaron Bishop could join us today.
I was gonna say, what the fuck you talk about? I was like, I got you.
Shit lit. Shout out to my man A for putting this together. So we really want to start off. This is an overdue conversation. To be honest, because we really wanted to talk about wearing a mask and this pandemic that we've been going through, and how oftentimes that relates to our lives. And it's funny because the other day, I was hyped because I had an idea, right? Thursday when we were supposed to meet, because Wednesday I had gone to go grab a drink, and I'm ordering my drink with my mask on, you know, with the whole Corona shit, and with phase 2, outside dining has opened up. Right. So I go to a place where outside dining is opened up, and people chilling, whatnot, and the outside. And obviously, when you dine in the outside area, you don't have to wear your mask. And as I'm waiting for my drink, it's not at the bar, but they have like a little stand where you could just order and whatnot. There's a customer that's coming into the establishment, and as he's walking in, the manager like stops him right away and tell him, "Oh, if you want to go to the bathroom, you got to put your mask on." So I looked at that, and it kind of made me think about just my story and what I want to share. And I was thinking how just walking a couple of feet and changing the context from being outside to now walking into the bathroom, we oftentimes have to now, well, not oftentimes, but now we got to put a mask on. Right? You outside, you chilling, you parlaying, you can have your mask off.
Yeah.
You go 10 feet, maybe at most, and it's like, yo, you gotta put your mask on.
Right.
And what's interesting about that is that we oftentimes live in life like that. We oftentimes, from one context to the other, we put in a mask on. We in a space. I'm with my mans, my homegirl Emily. We sharing. I can have my mask off. I get around a different crowd, and I might need to put my mask on now. What I'm not advocating is to say is I'm not advocating and saying that you always have to be sharing out everything about you.
Yeah.
But I do feel that you need to be who you are at all times. If you have a certain value in this context, have that value in a different context.
Yeah. 100%.
And so I have a little story that in terms of this mask, and hopefully we can elaborate more on like what it means to wear a mask. But I remember, and it was funny because when we was originally supposed to do this, the first time we were supposed to do it, this is like our 4th try to this shit. But the first time we were supposed to do this,
facts.
I was hitting an anniversary, a very special one at that, because I think it had been about 7 years since I graduated at that point, and I had gotten my master's. So I got into this program, super competitive program, very selective teaching program, and I was fortunate enough to get into it. But when I got into that program, I noticed I was the minority within that program, and I felt very uncomfortable. Especially knowing the different places that different people have come in terms of like education, and upbringings. Mind you, and I just thought about this afterwards, my family, my friends who knew me and they seen the accomplishment I have made were celebrating me for my success, for the things that I've done. Anywhere I go and out, and if I ever bump into any like of my old friends from like high school or whatnot, or someone who I haven't spoken to, and they want to catch up, and I tell them what I'm doing, they will just be proud. They'll be very excited to hear that. They'll, congratulations, that's amazing. Like, wow, you're super young. I was like 21 at the time, 21. And it was interesting because within me, though, I felt uncomfortable in this space. Yet the people that knew of me were happy for me. Yet I felt like I couldn't, or I didn't belong here, right? And I remember I had a wonderful woman, very grateful for the wife of a professor of mine from Lehman College, who through the process of getting into that program, she helped me. She helped me a lot in terms of like polishing up my writing and how to present myself in a more eloquent way to a certain crowd, especially like to a committee who's reading my essay, polishing up my resume. And I remember she was also happy for me for getting into it. But I remember I emailed her and I told her how uncomfortable I felt. And when I said I was a minority, it was because I was a Black Dominican in this space where it was mostly whites. And I know with a lot of the race things that are happening, there's I don't want to stray the conversation, and that could be a story to tell at some other point. But I just their experiences, and they came from Ivy League school, state school, and here I was just oh, am I, and I'm thinking to myself, am I the Black man who got accepted to the program just so I can meet some figures,
Like a
so
quarter
that
looking black guy.
for diversity purpose,
Right.
And that was an inner conflict that I was having, because at no point can I say that within this space I felt some prejudice or I felt discriminated against because of my skin color, because of like my ethnicity. But in my head, though, that was something that I was conceiving and conceptualizing. So I get in contact with this woman, and who was like a mentor to me, and she tells me, embrace your culture and who you are. And what's great about you is that you're flexible. And those words really hit me, because she was really telling me how I'm navigating between two worlds. How culturally I bring a lot in terms of where I come from, my upbringings, be it family, be it the schools I went to. And she also told me, though, but while you're there, be a sponge. And she didn't use that word sponge, but she basically told me, observe all the knowledge that you can. Take the good with the good and leave the bad with the bad. And I think back to that now, and I think back to the spaces that I've been able to be in now, and it really took me that conversation and just some inner battling to really take that mask off. And oftentimes it's this idea of a mask. We know it to be something that we wear externally, so it's visible. But oftentimes the mask we wearing is an invisible one.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's even better to have that visible one at this moment in time. It might be even a better idea to have that visible mask so that you won't get the corona and whatnot, and to protect yourself against it. But it's the I'm talking about the invisible mask that we oftentimes have to wear in different contexts, different situations, and we don't get to be ourselves and who we are. And this is just one of the stories, because I felt that this mask, I remember I used to tell Aaron all the time, I used to tell him, yo, I feel like I live two lives between my professional life and how I parlay with my friends. And stigmas that I will get when I'll be out, gatherings or going out, and like people think, oh, like you're a teacher, and they'll look at me like, yeah, you can't be a teacher. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't add up right now. But I used to think to myself like, yo, these are my two masks. Yet they weren't at that point in time. They weren't even visible masks that we wearing. So sometimes we see the mask that people wear. We see, if someone is wearing a ski mask, those are visible. If someone is wearing a mask and for health reasons, those are visible. But it's the invisible mask that we should really talk. And yeah, that's my story for now. And I just want to open up about the invisible mask that people wear, opposed to those external masks that we could visualize. Talk to me about people.
So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When is it appropriate for you to wear a mask?
Never.
When is it appropriate for you to wear a mask?
Mm-hmm. Or this idea of an invisible
mask? Well,
mask?
I've done a lot of talking. I feel like this is a question,
So like for me, when I hear like invisible mask, it does make sense in like the situations where you navigate between two worlds, but it's all about being 100% authentic with yourself, because in most cases people wear masks, and that's like usually a sign of like insecurity. They put on a mask because they aren't truly secure with who they are. So is one thing to navigate between two worlds, knowing who you are to your core, versus, all right, I have to act this way to fit in here, and I have to act this way to fit in there, and not really knowing who you are. And that's how a lot of people end up in these like cycles of, oh, I don't know what the hell happened, because you're not really sure about who you are. But when you're sure about who you are, you never truly get caught up in something. You just know who you are, but you also navigate. And that's where the confliction, it seems like Josue was going through.
So the question is, when do you wear a mask?
I just said there is no time.
There is. No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that part.
So
I mean,
you wanted to say something, Dave. You wanted to say something. Because I got it.
Because there could be a contradictory statement where that cliche term where, oh, you turn the switch on and off. How you enter one environment, you got to turn the switch off, and then when you hear, you turn it on, and
which unfortunately is necessary.
It's very necessary, but this
give an example though. Give an example to go with that necessary, please. So
I can't talk like this at work. Not because I don't want to, but it's not professional. It's not what's expected of me.
But does that mean you're wearing a mask, or does that mean you are in a professional setting in which you are conducting yourself in a way that you need to, because of the professionalism that comes with that? Does that mean that?
That's why I asked: is there an appropriate time or inappropriate?
So I think it goes deeper than that. The idea of wearing the mask, because I don't necessarily think the fact of, and I think it's important to start like at least even because in my own story, I guess the perception can be that like, oh, so are you just saying that within different spaces you just act different? I'm talking about the things you value, what you stand up for, and if you feel that those are the right thing, because sometimes we value things that we have to sometimes reconsider and kind of flip our thinking around it, because we might say, well, that's not truly what I should value. I should put my value, and that's okay, I think, because I think sometimes that some things that we value is part of the things that we're trying to wear a mask, that invisible mask with. And I think if we have something that we value, that we aligned with, for example, something I always talk about. Well, no. Yeah, keep going. Because I had something else I wanted to add.
No,
you had something you wanted to say though. You said never.
Who, me?
Yeah, you said never wear a mask.
Yeah, I feel like you should be you 100% no matter where you at.
I agree.
100%.
But that's not realistic.
No, because you being you.
But
like,
now it goes.
He's a teacher, but when he wants to go out and have fun and chill with his friends, he's gonna be a friend. But that's not a mask.
Right.
All of it just encompasses who Josue is, versus Josue. Josue likes to go out. He likes to have fun. He'll have conversation. That's all a part of Josue, professionally and socially. Now, Josue was to leave school and then try to act like this gangster and go against everything, trying to teach his students. Now, that's a mask where it's just like, bro, are you really being true to yourself?
Right. May I push because there's a burning question in my mind about a story that I heard recently, and it was, yo, out in Harlem last couple of weeks, it's been lit.
It's ridiculous.
And I heard a story about, yo, I'm out here. I gotta tuck niggas' guns in.
Right.
And just in case, yo, I'm using the word nigga. I just want to put a disclaimer is a vernacular used because there's a lot of people that may watch this or whatnot, and they might refer. It's like, yo, I seen one of them homeboys with the gun, so I had to wrap it away. So my question is, how, like, do people feel like you needed to be in that environment, or did you just walk? Do people should walk away, or what happens there if we know that that's where we at, but that's where we shouldn't be, for example?
I think situations like that, it kind of like opens your eyes, and this pandemic really kind of like brought to light like a lot of different things, because when you hear stories like that, it's just like, all right, how did you get in that situation? Why are you in that situation? And
because you have walked out of that situation.
And is this who you are? And I noticed that being stuck in the house, people just want to be out. And now there's nothing open. Situations change where you're just in the moment. Now you're chilling with your friends, and then boom, now it's like, oh shit. So now people that you're not even around for that long, how you haven't been around for that much longer, you kind of would hope that they not on that type of time no more. So it's like, let me go back to the old neighborhood, let me hang out, chill. And then you get there, it's just like,
same shit.
Niggas are still doing this.
Now, knowing that you value what you value, or knowing what you stand for, do you ever approach and kind of talk to those people about it?
Absolutely.
Or do you just let it like?
No. Absolutely. Like, those are talks, and that's honestly like why I decided, like, yo, I think we should come up, because we all come from impoverished neighborhoods, you know, what they call urban neighborhoods. So it's like we either see it or like lived around it, or like just in some matter. So it's like, if we came from it and we came out and have these thoughts and we have a particular mindset, it's no different for others. Like, some of the smartest people I know come from the street. They just don't utilize their abilities in a manner that would be really productive to themselves. It's usually counterproductive, and they think they're being productive by moving a certain way. And it's just like, yo, you don't even have to move this way. You could do other things with the knowledge that you have. So it's like, I just have hope for the people that I know, and because I have brothers that's been incarcerated and still one that still is, it's like we all come from the same place, and I just see how so many lives are just going in so many different directions. And I just feel like, even if this could just save one person, I would be happy just by listening to these conversations. So, and you kind of have, being in the street, you kind of do have to wear a mask until you get old enough to step away, reflect, and say, all right, this is not me.
100%.
So
now going back to where...
So you're 100% saying you should never wear a mask, Dave. And you're also saying 100% you should wear a mask for some time of being in the street.
So, hold
as
on.
an adult.
Thank you. So just because you're never supposed to do it doesn't mean that you don't end up in situations where you do it. So you're never supposed to do it. That's it. But there are situations where, as A explained, where you go see your brother and you like, that's my brother. I love my brother. And your brother got a gun sticking out his pocket. You're not instantly going to be like, oh, I'm out. You're going to be like, yo, bro, put that shit away. Instantly. You're not supposed to be doing that. But then it's everything that goes behind it. That's my brother. I love him. The emotion, the affection, the damn, this nigga really never changed. You just like, damn, but I want to spend time with him. Life is short. Cherish the moments that you have together. You start putting all that together. That's forming the mask, because you're putting yourself where you're not supposed to be. But overall, you're never supposed to wear a mask.
I mean, to be straight, niggas shouldn't even have been outside in that situation regardless. Like, yeah, everybody.
I mean, I don't know why you went, but something as simple as I went to the barbecue.
No, legit. That's
right.
Like, one goes outside to be like,
there you go.
That was gonna be lit, nothing but
No, people go outside for that.
Huh?
I said some people go outside for that.
I don't go outside for that.
Do you think people go outside is gonna be lit and there's gonna be a shootout? So I want to go outside.
No, yo, and it's crazy because like I was having because I was having a conversation with somebody and we laughed because I was just like, niggas could try to act as tough as they want. At the end of the day, everybody want to make it home tonight. So all of that, yo, you want to make it home, and the saddest part is that people so scared about what their friends gonna think by leaving situations like that that they gonna stick around. Nah, bro.
And I think the following. I think people, given the environment, may know that there is a possibility of a shootout.
Right.
But I'm not going outside to look for a shootout to see it. Matter of fact, there was a story. I don't know if y'all seen it. A kid from Monroe High School, basketball player.
Yeah, that happened yesterday.
Just died yesterday.
Yeah.
At a barbecue. Shootout just started happening. Dies. I'm sure that kid, maybe, perhaps, I can't say I'm sure, but perhaps, given the environment, that may have been a unconscious thought, like, oh, there may be some danger, but you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about having a good time, celebrating, and then something happens. And yeah. So I don't think people go outside with that mindset.
Let me touch up on something a little deep. So I got the book. What's the name of the book? The Mike Todd joint? Relationship Goals. And so we talk about masks and we talk about past experiences and things like that, right? And me and Slay was talking about this, and you kind of agreed with when your core speaks to you. So the surface and then your core is like, nah, this ain't you. And so when y'all say the mask thing, it's like, I always knew you got to be you 100%. But let's say you go out, you bag a joint, you take her home. I'm going to ask for you, Sway, is that you wearing a mask?
What do you mean?
Is that you wearing a mask? Like, you wanted to affiliate yourself with a female in that manner.
Well, if you want to fuck?
Right.
So you saying like if it's something that just happens?
So if you're pursuing a woman, are you being yourself or are you wearing a mask?
Is that you being yourself or is that really you just like, oh, I'm lit. A joint goes with being lit. That's how you end the night. Let me go with it. Because I say this to say this. The book that we're reading goes total opposite of who, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna speak on who I was a year ago, right?
But I was gonna say that it depends on what stage in Josue's life that you asking him this.
No, so I'm talking
like now,
even before. Was that really you, or were you wearing a mask?
I think to an extent, I was wearing a mask, but now this is the thing. And again,
and you too. You could
jump. I don't know. But I'm gonna just say what comes to mind.
Right.
Again, I'm speaking about invisible masks.
Right.
I'm speaking about things that we kind of like within our mind. We think to ourselves. Sometimes some mask is not even just for the outside.
Right.
I think sometimes we're wearing a mask, an invisible mask, an internal mask for ourselves.
Right.
So somehow, some way, it may have been that, and that situation has happened to me, and it may have been that, this is what I need to do at this time and place and moment, and I thought that for many years, and prior to even having those thoughts, for many years, I thought otherwise. I didn't think that was the case necessarily. So I think this idea of wearing a mask is also, I think there's an underlying like a rooted topic is coming to know yourself for who you are. And I think at different points of our lives that changes, right? We don't fully understand ourselves, but I think that there are things in our life that, like, for example, with the question you asked me, if I think about it in retrospect, I'll be like, that's silly. That's dumb. That's like, you legit, and vice versa, that woman,
right,
to please a need or whatever it was, you just said like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. call it a day. And if it's one of those where it's just a one night, yeah, you're coming naked, right? If you had that opportunity, some of us, like fucking in cars and shit. But if you come out like fully naked and you have the room and all that, and y'all both naked, this is a person you just met, and you already like if you fundamentally think about it, and it's so, like, yo, that's crazy.
I never thought of this, but you saying what you're saying now. For as long as y'all known me, and I remember, I knew you, but I didn't know you. But when like we were hanging out, like the PR trip and all that, like coming to that, you was like, oh, I didn't know you was that way, because I was always known as the lover boy. That was what my core was telling me. But people that seen me was like, nah, he a player. And I felt that I had to live up to that to be down, because everybody was like, yo, you loving her? You love, but that was just me. But I literally felt that I couldn't be that because I was doing something wrong. When I knew, yeah, that woman's broken, this, that, but it takes time for anything. So I'm gonna work with it. But yo, Dave, yo, you gotta relax. Dave, you jump into enough. Yo, bro, yo, she's on it. Just spank it. Don't even take her serious. And I would listen. And that was the mask that I was wearing to please my surroundings. When in my core, that was never me. Like never. I knew my capabilities. I knew, yo, you go out, yo, bro.
So you feel every girl you pursue, bro.
Yeah. No, it wasn't every girl. No.
No, I'm not saying every girl.
I'm not gonna name names, but this is how the play arounds came about. Because I would have never engaged with them if I felt
but he's saying like any girl that you like,
any girl that you did entertain in such way,
right?
You feel like, nah, I truly love this woman.
No. See, there was a point in my life where the ones that were just flings, I would have never even engaged in them. But listen to what I'm saying. This has been going on for so long in my life, like, nah, Dave's a lover boy. And I felt that there was something wrong with that I started affiliating myself with chicks that I know I would have never, ever gave the time of day to. And that's how the 2 weeks things happen and messing with 5 at one time. But if I would have stood to my core, yeah, bro, half that would have never happened. But that was the mask that I was putting on to go out, bag a joint. And I'm not going to lie. And this goes back to you was one way business. And then on the weekend, I'm like, oh, my nigga Sway lit. I'm like, yeah, let me be like my nigga. Yo, let me bag a joint too. But that was like, I can't eat, like, as we speaking on this now, that literally, like, I would go home and be like, yo, Dave, what are you doing? No. Like,
do you know something that I realized? I don't know why maybe and I can speak for myself. Maybe the idea I didn't see enough of it. But I feel like sometimes people start dating and we take the idea of dating as being commitment right away.
Right.
And I don't think, I know for myself, yo, bro, you never dated a woman in the sense of, yo, I'm just knowing you to know you. And we just getting to really know each other. It's like, yo, either or not, we're just committed to each other. This is a commitment that we got for one another. There's a loyalty that we already given to each other. There's a trust that we, like, if loyalty, trust, are like human rights.
Right.
But that
we haven't sacrificed anything for one another.
But that's a whole nother topic.
But I think it touch on what he's talking about in terms of like
wearing a mask.
Now wearing a mask, But part of the mask is that we're dysfunctional in certain ways. So we wear these masks in dysfunctional ways.
And I was going to bring that to say, sometimes what one person may deem like bad or not good, because everything about you may not be good, but that's you. So when I say these things, so it's not bad that Sway likes to go out, have a good time. He's lit, Sway. It's not a bad thing. That's him. Somebody might look at it like, oh, he's a hoe. He's doing this, and it's like, but he's enjoying himself.
Right.
Like, this is all a part of who he is. Like with me in the situation, like me being outside, is like a part of that is what I came up in. It's like sometimes you remove yourself away from it. But I can't say that some of it isn't a part of me, because like that's how I grew up. But I'm just now mature enough to know right from wrong.
Right.
But not that certain things aren't in me. You understand what I'm saying? So Dave, you'll speak on like, oh, my temper. That's a part of you, but you understand something about yourself where it's like, I need to kind of reflect before I respond, not be so important.
Right. But just because it's a part of you, it doesn't mean it's good. Like, so that example you gave, if you know Harlem's lit and Harlem's packing and carrying, yeah, that's A's culture. But why would A go into that?
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Anywhere I go to, and I'm telling, like, literally, this is like, I'm gonna go out, because the night before I hung out with, I'm like, damn, I miss my, people I grew up with. This is literally, it's family. Oh, it's Father's Day.
So this is where you.
No,
Listen,
because I said it. Listen, because you got to listen. I said it. I said, I'm 29 right now. I'm not 18, 19 no more.
Right.
So I'm not even thinking about none of that. Like, literally, that is the furthest thing from my mind. Oh, it's niggas gonna start shoot. That is the first, because of who's doing it. Because now, if you told me a 20-year-old was throwing this cookout, that's, oh nah, it's probably gonna be a shootout.
But it's not about the cookout, it's about the surrounding of the cookout. So this has nothing to do with the cookout. And this goes back to being 29 and wanted to make a home because, yo, I have aspirations of having a successful podcast. I'm on the road to doing this. I come from where I come from. I got my bachelor's after everything I've been through. You have a story to tell. So as much as you want to go to that barbecue, you're old enough to be like, yo, I love y'all, but nah. And if that is part of your culture, yo, Dave, yo, M, yo, Sway, do y'all mind if I come to your house? Because I really want to get out right now and I can't be here. But for where I want to go is not the right place for me. And that's how I operate. I don't care about where I come from, because just because I come from it, bro, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for me. You get what I'm saying? And the excuse is for me to say, well, that's what I come from. We could talk about my mom, we could talk about we could talk about all that. And I could say, well, that's what I'm used to. So, and y'all gonna look at me like, so that's right.
But in no way am I saying like, oh, this is what I'm used to, so I'm okay with this.
Right, bro. But you said that's where you come from. So what? This is what I'm saying.
I went outside to be with family.
Right.
Like, oh, nah, I didn't go out. So as soon as it got to a point where it's like, all right, yo,
bro, you tucked in a few pieces, bro.
Cause it's in the moment. It's not.
Allegedly.
I'm out. You're not just, like you said. I'm not just gonna leave. You're not just gonna leave.
Right.
So once it's like, oh,
all right, okay. So that situation happening,
huh?
That situation happening.
Yes.
And here we are today. What are you gonna do different next time? Yo, your sister hit you up. Yo, barbecue over here on Harlem 137th. What you gonna do different next time?
Are you saying streets and all that?
Nah, I wasn't on 137, so we good.
Okay.
Literally, bro, like I can't even say, because it's like I didn't
expect
to see that. No, huh?
I think it's hard.
It's tough, because it's like.
So what about, and this is just me just speaking.
So is that in that situation, is that him wearing a mask or just being presented?
Yeah, I think it is. Because he can easily send a text like, yo, sis, where's it at? Yo, how about we go like a little further up to like, Jersey or some shit. Let's do something in a different area. We don't got to do it on the block.
But
something
again,
as simple as that.
But again, this is before, like, you see everything that's going on now, where you seeing everything on social media, like, yo, Harlem is this, that. That was like literally kind of.
I'm not even talking about that, bro. I'm just talking about.
So, like, you just saying in general, just because of where I come from.
When I first met you know one of the first stories he told me? I was walking with my mans, and then you say a bullet like flew past your ear.
Oh yeah, when they were shooting at us. Yeah.
We're 29. We were what, 20 when he told me that story?
Yeah.
Now, what's different from that to now? Yo, I was
just randomly walking in the street. That's then, and now I'm going to an event.
Right.
Matter of fact, you see how we was. The only difference is that I knew a person that had a gun.
Allegedly.
So, literally, that's literally the only difference. Is like, yo, who you know versus. So now it's like a situation could occur anywhere you go.
I'm just at a point.
Also comes from like you.
I'm at a point where it's okay to say no, and I don't care who it is. And the attachment and the love. But I don't think like it puts me in a situation where I'm uncomfortable. And this goes back to like, yo, Dave, come out today. Y'all know I don't like going out. You feel me? Yeah, I know, but that me going out was like, let me show them that I got it in me. Let me show them that I could do it. But I will go home at the end of the day, and this goes back to when we had our last podcast joint, than me looking at the TV. I kid you not. I really the TV and I'd be like, yo, I'm sitting here blowing money and they making money. That's what be in my head. Cause that's just what I'm in between the Uber.
But now, hold on. Cause I think it's important to deconstruct some of the things we say.
Right,
listen to how you could have said anything in the world.
Right.
You could have said, yo, I'm here and and I'm thinking about my fiance. I just want to be watching a movie with her.
Right.
You could have said, yo, I'm here, but I have 2 kids and I could just be talking to them. But you said, I'm here spending money while they making it.
Right.
So is it that because and the reason why I only bring this up is because I know for you to, and actually A and I was saying that you a workaholic, bro.
Thank you. So that's why I use that example. So it ain't that I don't want to be with the kids. It is that my nature is, yo, when I can make money, I'm going for it. And A knows this. A tells me all the time, like I took it as an insult when he said the other day, you could take a few days off. I'm in my head like, what?
Because you could.
Right. Few days off. Right, I could.
So going back to like the reason for being in certain places. And it's like, you won't go out with this mindset, especially.
Hey, bro, let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me just stop you before you say what you say. If this podcast becomes the #1 podcast in the world,
mm-hmm.
and you're the creator, so you receiving hold on, and you receiving all the bread, and you're not driving a Honda. No, seriously, you driving a Maybach. No, because that's what your lifestyle is. You're living in a mansion. And your sister calls you and says, yo, I'm on 137th
mm-hmm.
at a barbecue. You going?
Yes. Because money is not going to change who. And I feel like that's the point you're missing. Is like at the end, you looking at it from a point like, I don't know these people. That happened. I'm not going. Versus, yo, these are people I've known for as long as I can remember. So
what are you teaching them? Listen. So what are you teaching them by continuously going into that atmosphere?
You're saying continuously, and I think that's the part that you're missing, because you're looking at it more in a hindsight way. I didn't go outside knowing this was going to happen. You already know the result of what's happening. So yes, you can say this. I'm going outside to hang out with people that I love, and I'm like, damn, haven't been around you in a while. You see people having kids. Like these people, now they have kids. Now you got this job. You doing this, you doing that. You gonna think you're gonna end up in that situation?
Of course not.
My point. So for you to say this now, I get it because it's hindsight. You see how everything ended up, the situation, how it ended up being. But initially, you don't see it going that way. It's a Father's Day cookout. Yo, this person's throwing a cookout. They got oh, I'm gonna go hang out for a little while. I'm not about
to get the shooter, right?
It wasn't even a shootout. Nobody got
number one.
Nobody got shot.
Not celebrating and made in Mexico. That's what I'm saying.
But with this celebration,
a whole different caliber, bro.
I gotta talk one at a time. I can't talk over each other.
But wait, you're confusing it because now you're going from celebrating versus like, yo, hey, this person's having a cookout. Come chill. There's
the environment on where you go, bro. You can simply send a text, and because this podcast is to wake people up, right?
Right.
Let them know, yo, it don't gotta be that way. And so for me, it's like this is the mask part of you. You could simply send a text and say, it doesn't need to be there. Let's do it somewhere else.
But she's not throwing the cookout.
What?
But hold on. I think we're getting caught on semantics and details of an event. I think what's important, or at least, you know, and Emily, you've been listening while they speaking, so you maybe could piggyback on this. But I think what's important to understand is that different situations, different moments, different experiences,
right,
changes our outlook to life. For example, if Emily goes, you know, and have a kid, how can someone sit here and be like, yo, Em, you not the same person? Like, why you don't want to chill with us? Why you don't want to come out and party and smoke hookah and you know, go uptown with? And it's like, yo, like what? Right? But sometimes we always want to see a physical change in someone, right? Because I look at the example I used was having a kid. So if you have a kid, it's obvious to me that you have a kid. Or sometimes people go with the excuse, well, you know, I'm in a relationship, so you know, I'd rather not do that because I don't want to put myself right. So, but sometimes there are internal things that change within us,
right?
That I think we sometimes need to like, and I think that becomes part of like taking off some of the invisible masks that we wear, and some of these things sometimes are internal, like you know, I start thinking about life. I start thinking of like some of the things. For example, I use the example in my family. I always think about the story that I shared with you guys when you were like, oh, yo, so like your family, they be all right, they be lit, right. And then when I asked y'all, yo, how many men do y'all see in my family? Y'all looked at me like oh shit, he's right. Yet the perception is that, right? Because nothing, you haven't seen anything change, but you know, me internally, this is how I'm processing it, right? So now because I see that, because I know that for me, that becomes now a pivotal moment in my life, because I start asking myself, okay, so you know this. So now what are you doing to kind of push that in a different direction from what has been true in the past? Or what are you doing to continue to that cycle of, well, my family is just a family of dominant women? Or does it just end with you and it's like, okay, well, you was a man in your family, but that's it. There's no more legacy, and it's up to the woman to continue whatever they do. And I think sometimes what I'm trying to say is the following: sometimes there are certain things internally,
right,
that should shift our way of thinking, which should kind of start revealing that mask or taking that mask off. Like, yo, nah, like I just don't want to put myself in that situation. Not about whether it's in Harlem or whether it's wherever it is at, but whatever the situation may be. I'm not in that space. I'm not in that time, because there may be consequences.
You live and you learn.
Huh?
You live and you learn.
Absolutely.
100%.
You definitely live and learn, but I think more than learning, you gotta also become practical.
There you go.
You can learn a lot.
You can say that, but you gotta like act on what you learn.
We could live and we can learn a lot, but if there's no practicality to it, if there's no adaptation to it.
If you don't apply it, it's not learning.
Not quite.
No, that's not true.
No. If you don't, how's that?
It doesn't mean you didn't learn it. You're just not applying what you learn.
Nah.
In life, that applies for school. I don't remember half the things I learned.
Everything.
In life, if you didn't learn, then.
So hold on, you're saying okay. So you're saying you're talking about life. Yes. You're saying if you didn't, because you're saying like, well, if you would have learned your lesson, you would have never done it again.
Nah. Yeah.
Because that's gonna go to
I can't,
can't agree to that because we learned a lot of different things and did the same thing.
Hell yeah.
So does that mean you learned?
Would you say there's been moments in your life where you've been like, oh yeah, I learned from this, and then that shit just comes back and happen again and creep up again?
Something that's simple. You can go quickly to relationships.
Go right to relationships. Yeah, going back to someone.
You can get all of that. You can get all of those.
Feel that pain of hurt. I'm never gonna feel this again.
And then boom.
2 weeks later, yo, babe, you know I love you. All right. Simple.
So, that's simple. But yeah.
You say to yourself, I'm mad dumb, but the heart and the brain, they not on the same. They not. So it ain't necessarily that you ain't learned from it, but it's just more so like what you ready to accept, knowing where you at, understanding that.
So let's make this thing come full circle. The reason I said I wanted to do this podcast,
right,
is because I feel like I can help people that's like me, where I come from, people that I know, people that I don't know. We're all relatable, and I feel like I'm relatable, and I can have certain conversations. So to close up this whole Harlem debacle, I have conversations with people that I know from where, and I have like serious conversations with them outside of the events that occurred. Like I have like real conversations.
Right,
like,
right.
Yo, what you want to do with your life? Yo, what's the move? Yo, this ain't it. Like how you just want to chill on the block? Yo, let's travel. Let's go somewhere. Matter of fact, over the years that I've always hung out, I've invited so many people to come hang out with me, and nobody ever shows up. And it's like, for me, yo, that's not my scene. Like I literally had somebody that's like, he's like my cousin. Like, yo, you should come with me. Like, come with me to Dykeman one day to just hang out, right? Yo, they don't like us. Have you ever been? Nah, I just know. How you gonna say that? So it's like you want to be on the block? I'm like, yo, you more than that. So these are the conversations I'm having with people that I love. So when I go out, I'm not going out for I want to be around people I love. I want to like help inspire, even if it's just for chilling with them for an hour. Oh shit, Ace, yo, what up? What you been to? Now if I tell them remember we used to have sleepovers. We all slept. So it's like, yo, damn, if he could do it. So that's just the hope that I have. And maybe sometimes
it sounds good, bro. I'm sorry. It sounds amazing. Like I almost got caught up in it. I was like,
but this is me. You don't have to. If
no, 100%. But
I said it's hope.
Yo, bro, that's your character. And what I've seen throughout the years of you having that character is niggas drain the shit out of you, bro. I seen them drain you. I seen you see so much potential in something, and you like, but I know you could do it. But if they don't feel it, you gotta stop. And how you let them see is by you continuing. But you keep going back, that's how you're gonna get yourself caught up in something. And this is what I'm trying to say to you. Because you see it, they don't. And what happens is now you gotta swoop down to their level so that they can understand. And that's not how it goes, bro. But if you continue with these podcasts, I'm not hanging on the block no more. I'm partying over here. You'll start receiving those DMs.
But I don't be on the block. I'm not like on the
block, bro. I'm just saying in general. And they start reaching out to you. You have the gift. You see the vision. You can't swoop down to people that don't, bro. Those that see it and want it, they're going to contact you. And you've seen this just with top of the mornings, bro. You've seen it just, yo, bro, I see what you're doing. Yo, that's a good look. At what point did you reach out? So this is the point that I'm just trying to make to you. You can't, because you're cat, bro, I know niggas be draining you out, bro. Niggas be draining you out. I see it. They drain you out. And for me, I'm just, I'm not doing it. Oh, this nigga Dave is this. Yo, call me whatever. I don't care. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Because for me, go ahead.
No, because I was just saying, because I know A was bringing it full circle in terms of what, and maybe this is where you was going.
Right, yeah. So
well, what does, and I think this is, because I know we started out talking about wearing a mask as just a topic to, and we could close off with that like in a few minutes or whatnot. But what does the podcast mean to you?
To me?
Not to Dave. To Dave. Well, A just finished saying what it meant to him.
Yeah. What does the podcast mean to me? I'm gonna be honest. One is me supporting someone that helped me in my life. And I tell everybody to this moment, like if it was not for A, I would not be where I'm at in life, because I was just so stuck in this wrong mindset that in a loving friend, brother way, he didn't force me. He hit me with facts. He hit me with shit that hit me. He hit me with reality. Let me still make my mistakes, show that he was still there as a friend, but he was still elevating. I was just like, yo, at the end of the day, I need to change. So it's me supporting my brother. Two, is me supporting people. When he told me the dynamic of who he wants to be on this podcast, I said that it would be the best. It would be amazing because we all have different fields on how we each connect to people. Lately, Sway's been helping me with becoming more of a man with the books he's been reading, just sending us stuff in the chat. So I just feel like the daily devotions that I get from my brothers, I feel that if the world can get it, because I know it's helping me, I feel like it would be a blessing to people that don't have that friend or that brother or that sister or that mother that they could go to and say, yo, I need help in this. And like, for example, I say, yo, I got to talk to y'all, and you canceled your meeting. Yo, I'm coming over right now. And a lot of people don't have that. So for us to put a platform together to be able to put that in the universe, I feel like that's just super dope. And I'm with it 100%.
What about you, Em?
I'm here to contradict everything I'm saying.
So contradict the fact of what?
I'm joking.
What does the podcast mean to you? Like you taking out your time. You could have been watching the Fab. And Data versus Matter right now. Yeah,
Data fighting him right now, but we're gonna talk about that later.
You only gave us 20 minutes. You've been on for almost an hour.
Yeah, it's actually time to go.
So what does it mean? So
I'll answer that one. Is my time, my story.
What the podcast meant to you?
Yeah,
you can answer it now. No,
I'll leave you guys in suspense.
I think that points out to in fact what it means to me. It means that at the end of the day, I could have a story. And the only piece I like kind of disagree with I would say not because I want to be like M and disagree with everything everybody's saying, but I think at the end of the day, what we here for, or at least what I feel I'm here for, is to have conversations, to plant the seed, to change the perspective, to be contradicted on certain cases. Like, yo, hold on, so you said that? That shit sound crazy, my man. What are you talking about? I feel like I'm here to continue to grow for myself, because I think through this platform, through sharing and taking masses and layers off, I think that I'll get to know more of myself and understand more of the world. We have Emily bringing a different perspective. We have Dave, who life is completely different from mine, in the same way as Aaron. So I think for me, like, one, as they pointed out, I really want to support Aaron, and I think this is a great idea. I think people want to hear a certain topic. I also want to hear what people have to say, because truthfully, I have a story, right? But I don't know it all. I don't have all the answers to everything. And I feel like going to what I disagree with Aaron is in the sense that I feel like I'm gonna change anyone. Well, I can only put out the word, and if people want to take in a story or like put it into perspective, then they could put it. But if they don't, we got to be careful, because then it could be completely draining to our life, and we become our life works become on us trying to continue to edify others. And it's like, no, I'm gonna continue to be who I am and saying what I have to say. But I feel like at the end of the day, I hope that this podcast give people at least the opportunity to start thinking about things. And maybe they don't even have to engage in conversation with us. But
listen,
if you have friends, or if you have people you can talk to, perhaps you don't necessarily consider it like your bestest friend, but if you have people you can talk to, and we bring up topics that are debatable, things worth talking, go and have those conversations. You don't have to have them with us, but just go and share that. Yo, I was listening to this, because even being able to have certain conversation will start showing you who are the people you can talk to versus who are the people you cannot talk to. Because I think sometimes we just get caught up in like partying, doing all of this, but hopefully this podcast brings some, some light to different issues and things that happen. So yeah, because I definitely started off with saying, "Are you wearing a mask?" And I don't know if the mask is completely off.
Yeah,